Welcome back to my YouTube channel, MC Coins World. Today we are going to explore the fascinating history, design, and hidden details of the 1967 Elizabeth II one-penny coin, a piece of currency that holds not just monetary value but a rich connection to the heritage of the United Kingdom and the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. Welcome back to my YouTube channel, MC Coins World. Today we will explore the complete and detailed history of the 1967 Elizabeth II one-penny coin, a fascinating numismatic piece that marks an important chapter in British coinage history. The 1967 one-penny coin is significant for many reasons. Not only was it one of the last of the large penny coins to be produced before decimalization in the United Kingdom, but it also represents the enduring tradition of British copper coinage stretching back centuries. The coin features on its obverse the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the sculptor Mary Gillick, whose youthful portrayal of the monarch became one of the most iconic images in British currency history. The design shows the Queen facing to the right, wearing a laureate crown without a veil, a style that captures the grace and optimism of her early reign. The legend around the portrait reads, Elizabeth, Ide Gratia Regina FD, which translates to Elizabeth II by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. This inscription is a continuation of the long-standing tradition of including the monarch's name and titles on coinage, connecting modern issues with the deep heritage of royal authority in Britain. On the reverse of the coin, we see the classical, seated figure of Britannia holding a trident in her right hand and resting her left hand upon a shield adorned with the Union Jack. Britannia is seated facing right with a lighthouse in the background to the left, and the denomination one penny written below the date, 1967. Placed in the exergue, the design of Britannia is a long-standing feature on British pennies, tracing its origins back to the reign of Charles II in the 17th century, and symbolizing maritime strength, unity, and imperial power. This particular 1967 issue of the penny holds further significance in that it was struck in massive quantities to meet circulation needs. Before the switch to the decimal system in 1971, millions were minted, making it one of the most common dates for the series. Yet, despite its high mintage, it remains a favorite among collectors because it represents the final years of an era in British currency. The large penny, which had been an everyday coin for generations, would soon disappear from pockets forever. The composition of the coin was bronze, consisting of approximately 97% copper, 1.5% zinc, and 1.5% tin, giving it a rich, reddish-brown color when new, although over time the coins often developed darker tones and patinas due to circulation and environmental exposure. The diameter was 30.81 millimeters with a weight of 9.4 grams, a size that gave the penny a substantial feel compared to modern smaller coinage. When we look deeper into its historical setting, the year 1967 in Britain was a time of cultural transformation, political change, and economic adjustment. The post-war years were giving way to a more modern society. The swinging 60s were in full motion, with music, fashion, and youth culture influencing every aspect of life. Yet even in this age of rapid change, the coins in circulation still carried designs rooted in centuries-old tradition, linking everyday transactions to a distant past. The decision to produce so many 1967 pennies was part of a practical move by the Royal Mint to ensure there were adequate supplies of the old currency before the major overhaul of the monetary system. Decimalization was scheduled for February 15, 1971, and the large penny was to be demonetized, meaning it would no longer be legal tender after August 31, 1971. By minting huge numbers in 1967, the authorities ensured that smaller denomination coin shortages would not occur. In the years leading up to the changeover, Mary Gillick's obverse portrait on this coin is especially beloved among collectors because it was used from the beginning of Elizabeth II's reign in 1953 until 1970, and it portrays the Queen without a crown or tiara in a natural, youthful style. The simplicity and elegance of the laureate crown recalls ancient Roman coinage, in which rulers were often depicted in similar fashion, emphasizing continuity between the classical world and modern constitutional monarchy. The reverse design of Britannia by Leonard Charles Wyons had been slightly modified over the years, but remained faithful to the 19th century tradition. Her flowing robes, the detailed folds, The realistic rendering of the trident and shield all serve as reminders of Britain. As naval history and its global presence during the height of the British Empire, collectors often examine 1967 pennies for variations in strike quality, toning, and wear, while no major errors are widely recorded for this date. Minor misstrikes, weak strikes, or off-center examples can still be found and may carry a small premium for enthusiasts in uncirculated condition with full luster. A 1967 penny is visually striking with the bronze surface gleaming, under light showing the fine details of both obverse and reverse designs. Although it is common, its affordability makes it an excellent starter piece for those beginning. A collection of British pre-decimal coinage, the sentimental value of this coin cannot be overstated. For many in Britain and in the Commonwealth, the large penny was a familiar part of childhood memories of pocket money, school, tuck shops, and local markets. Its withdrawal marked the end of an era, and the 1967 issue stands as one of the most accessible reminders of that time when considering its place in numismatic history. The 1967 penny illustrates the balance between tradition and change. It carried forward symbols and designs that had graced coinage for centuries. Yet it was issued in the shadow of a looming transformation in the nation's currency system. Its mass production makes it a coin that nearly everyone in Britain at the time would have handled, bridging generations and social classes. Today, although it is not rare, its charm lies in its story, its artistry, and its connection to a way of life that has passed into history. Collectors often recommend keeping a bright, uncirculated example in one's collection, not for its monetary value, but for the depth of history it represents. When we think about the lifespan of the penny, from its introduction in the late 18th century as a copper coin, through its evolution into bronze and its eventual replacement by smaller decimal coins, we can see the 1967 piece as one of the last links in a long chain of British monetary heritage. Its large, bold designs and historical associations make it a timeless conversation piece in the world of numismatics, and while its mintage ensures it will never be scarce, the nostalgia it carries is something that no number of coins can diminish. Thus, the 1967 Elizabeth II one penny remains a treasured keepsake for historians, coin enthusiasts, and those who simply appreciate the beauty of classic coin design. Even decades after it ceased to circulate, it continues to evoke memories of a bygone Britain and stands as a proud testament to the coin. And that brings us to the end of our detailed journey into the history of the 1967 Elizabeth II one penny coin, a coin that may be common in numbers but is truly rich in heritage, artistry, and cultural significance. Thank you for joining me here on McCoin's World, where every coin has a story to tell. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another fascinating chapter in the world of numismatics. Until next time, keep collecting, keep learning, and keep discovering the hidden treasures in your pocket change.